Hey everyone, and welcome back to G-senjou no Maou. Let's continue. He demanded that she keeps it secret even from her parents. Late that night, Tsubaki moved silently toward a nearby park. Alone. She told her father she would be taking a walk. Although she never was good at lying, she wasn't scolded. Perhaps her father was too worked up over worrying about Hiroaki's safety. Her cell phone had rang that day as she returned home in the evening. Tsubaki had been summoned. As she thought she might be able to get her brother back, she obeyed. She sat on the specified bench awaiting Hiroaki's appearance and the kidnapper's voice. A voice came from behind her. "Do not turn around." Its commanding tone forced a shiver up her spine. Though she hadn't sensed anything, the man was already behind Tsubaki.
まず、初めに言っておく。
It was the voice from the calls, a voice she'd heard many times. Sure enough, it was the kidnapper.
興奮して後ろを振り向くなよ。私の顔を見たら、大好きな弟が明日の朝刊に乗ることになる。
Tsubaki couldn't help but get nervous. The kidnapper was right behind her.
返事はどうした？
わかりました。
聞き分けが良くていい。
Tsubaki felt like running away from this place.
今まで全部言うことを聞いてきました。ですから、今度はあなたの番です。
Her knees trembled in fear. The terror overwhelmed even her throat as it vainly attempted to form coherent words.
弟、返してください。
A sigh from behind her penetrated her ears.
全部言うことを聞いた。だと？
お金も渡しました。警察にも通報していません。
Tsubaki slowly explained the situation. What could the kidnapper possibly be discontented with?
では、なぜ宇佐美春が邪魔をしてきたのだ？宇佐美が私を捕まえようとした。知らないわけではないだろう。
True, Haru had chased the kidnapper along Central Boulevard. She had also swapped the briefcases containing the ransom. Could this have angered the kidnapper? Tsubaki came clean.
はるちゃんはあなたを捕まえると言っていました。
それを許したのか？
はい。
Tsubaki immediately began to wonder if she might have made the wrong choice.
はるちゃんはあなたを捕まえようとしたり、ケースをすり替えたりしました。それを怒ってらっしゃるんですか？
ケースをすり替えたりか。
He laughed through his nose.
キューバの仕掛けにしてはよく頑張った方だな。
Even so, it was all in vain against such a talented criminal. The kidnapper had already taken the ransom some time before then.
しかし椿、もし宇佐美の手口が功を奏し、まんまと身代金を取り戻していたら、どうなっていたと思う？
どうって。
Tsubaki didn't know. All she knew for certain was that his voice, his horrific voice, which crushed and subdued one's spirit, was capable of inspiring endless depths of terror.
お前は私に身代金を渡すと約束した。だが一方で裏切っていた。そういう人間に報いを与えるべきだと私が思っても何ら不思議はないだろう。
すみませんでした。
She loosed torrential words of apology, swift and profuse.
宇佐美はこう言ったのだろう。身代金を渡したが最後、弟は戻らないと。
はい。人質はリスクの塊だからと。
私はきちんと返すつもりだったのにな。
Maou sighed.
考えてもみろ。人質を返さないということは、殺害するということだ。
Each hair on Tsubaki's body stood on end.
いい加減分かってほしいが、私は警察とことを構えるつもりはない。警察を頼るな。
はい。
人質が帰ってこなかったら、お前たちはどうする？今度こそ警察を頼るだろう。人を一人殺すというのは大変なことだ。必ず足がつく。
Mao's casual description of such monstrosities was far too detailed and concise for comfort. This subconscious realization sent Tsubaki's stomach reeling. As she could no longer attempt to fathom his words without becoming ill, Tsubaki caved in and accepted his claims.
お前は宇佐美にそそのかされたということだな。
そんなつもりは。はるちゃんはただ良かれと思って。
それは違う。
The kidnapper interrupted.
宇佐美が私を捕まえようとしたのはお前たちのためではない。支援だ。
A chill tainted the air.
知りたいか？
Tsubaki couldn't answer the kidnapper's question. Her silence stirred up laughter from the darkness.
そんなことより弟を返してほしそうだな。
These words flung her back toward her mission. Lightly curling her stiff fingers, Tsubaki nervously asked.
返してもらえるんですか？
The adversary replied with a sigh which suddenly transformed into another bout of laughter.
お前が私の言う通りにすればな。
His wild laughter took a tight grip of Tsubaki's heart. That condition had been more of a threat than a request. Tsubaki's lips were shivering. She could no longer feel the chill in the air. She thought only of getting as far away from here as she could. She vaguely sensed a feeling of disgust at this man through the haze of fear. Maou. She remembered the time when Haru mentioned this name. Maou reached out his claws and closed the distance between Tsubaki and himself. Tsubaki always looked into her partner's eyes when upholding a conversation. Yet the courage to turn back, the courage to face the terror behind her, was entirely absent in Tsubaki at the moment. The wind blew. Maou whispered softly into her ear. What did he whisper? I want to know. I came to school again today. Morning, everyone. My classmates replied cheerfully to my greeting.
おはようございます、サザエさん。
Hey, can't you do something about your hair? Every single morning I come in and you spoil my good mood.
サザエさんこそ眠そうですね。
Really? Well, I didn't.
昨日は遅くまで付き合わせてしまいましたね。
Jeez. I returned to my seat. I haven't called Miki-chan in quite a while, so I guess I'll do it now.
白鳥さんはまだいらっしゃらないみたいですね。
Apparently not. Yeah, she's absent all the time.
何か事情でもあるんですかね。
Might be related to the stock crash. Usami nodded in agreement.
あ、椿だ。
Tsubaki was already at her seat before we even realized she came in. You don't see that every day. Tsubaki always jumps in and greets everyone energetically. Tsubaki. She panicked when addressed. Is something wrong?
浅井くん、おはよう。その様子じゃまだひろあきくんは。
So the kidnapper still has the hostage. It will be a hassle if the police have to get involved. Tsubaki sank her teeth into her lips.
はるちゃん、なんだ？ちょっと聞いてもいいかな？
She asked apprehensively. Usami and I both frowned at seeing Tsubaki like this.
はるちゃんはどうして犯人を捕まえようと思ったの？
Usami replied unshaken.
犯人を捕まえれば身代金を渡す必要もないし、ひろあきくんも帰ってくるからだ。そっか。今さらなんでそんなことを？
Tsubaki couldn't answer Usami's question and looked away.
それだけ？え？本当にそれだけの理由なの？
She was acting a bit strange.
犯人は魔王だって言ってたよね。うん。知り合いなんだよね。うん。私の家庭の事情とは別に、はるちゃんは犯人を捕まえたかったんじゃないの？
I couldn't help but think that something about Tsubaki was different today. This might be the first time I've ever seen Tsubaki suspect someone.
確かに私は魔王を捕まえたいと常々思っている。魔王には個人的な恨みもある。それが何かまずかったか？
Usami turned her face away after confessing as if she was hurt deeply.
ごめん、変なこと聞いて。いや、はるちゃんは良かれと思って犯人を捕まえようとしてくれたんだよね。何の役にも立たなかったが。
Things keep getting stranger and stranger. Normally, Tsubaki would have been comforting Usami right now.
もう一ついいかな？何でもいいぞ。はるちゃんはお金を渡したらひろあきは帰ってこないって 言ったよね。
うん。何度も言うが、犯人は身代金に関係なく人質を返すつもりはないんじゃないかと思っていた。
In fact, Hiroaki-kun was still trapped somewhere.
本当にそうなのかな。犯人は警察を恐れてたんだよ。
そのようだな。
ヒロアキがもし本当に帰ってこないなら、私たち今度こそ警察に連絡するよ。犯人もそれを予想しているはずだから、きっとヒロアキは返すつもりだったんじゃないかな。
Tsubaki was right. If the kidnapper really fears law enforcement, then he must free the hostage. He would be in deep trouble if he killed the hostage.
私は犯人ではないからわからないが、警察を恐れているからこそ人質は返さないつもりだったんじゃないか。犯人はこう予測していた。椿の一家は人質が帰ってきたら、次は身代金を返してもらおうと思い、警察に通報するかもしれない。
This theory was pretty feasible. If the hostage was freed, there would be nothing for Tsubaki to worry about when calling the police. The ransom came at the expense of the land they had been protecting up until now. Tsubaki's dad wouldn't want to let go of it, so it's possible that the kidnapper has already factored this into his plans.
何にせよ、私がそう思うというだけであって、事実はわからないが。
そっか。
Tsubaki emitted a long sigh afterward.
ごめんね、ハルちゃん。
She cried with all her voice.
問い詰めるような真似してごめんね。
It was as if a demon within her vanished. What's gotten into you?
なんでもないの。
疲れてるみたいだな。
Tsubaki recovered her cheerful smile.
何かあったのか。
今日は朝からハルちゃんに迷惑かけてしまいました。丸。
いや、丸じゃないっしょ。
After that, our regular day began.
おいおい、京介聞いてくれよ。俺この年になるまで知らなかったぜ。
What are you talking about? Everyone gathered on a rooftop during lunch break, as always.
ペッティングっていやらしい言葉だったんだな。
And here I was thinking you might say something interesting.
ビビったぜ。三軒茶屋あたりの家族が土手で犬を散歩させるおしゃれな言葉かと思ってたぜ。
Good for you. Tsubaki arrived at the rooftop as we continued our meaningless conversation.
椿ちゃん、大丈夫？
何が？
ほらあのガキ。じゃなくて、弟さん。
Tsubaki paled.
大丈夫だよ。きっと生きてるって。
Eiichi didn't even understand the reason behind the heart-stopping atmosphere.
ありがとう。H 君にも迷惑かけたね。
Eiichi, worry?
いいよいいよ。僕はいいんだよ、僕は。
He had a triumphant look on his face. His denseness is almost endearing in a way. Ah, Tsubaki? Can I come to your house to hang out tonight? Tsubaki's eyes shot open and she froze for a second.
夜って何時くらい？
I won't stay late.
ならいいよ。
Are you busy?
別にないよ。でも、どうして？
Seems like my visit isn't welcomed. There's something I need to discuss with your father. About returning the loan. And also I'm worried about you. Eiichi spat.
心配しないでいいよ。私は元気だから。
If you say so.
浅井くんはやっぱり優しいな。
She smiled. A weak smile bathed in darkness.
自分もいいっすか？
はるちゃんも？
Usumi showed up out of thin air and asked for Tsubaki's permission. Why do you have to come?
いえ、何か役に立てる場面があるかもしれませんので。
Quit speaking Martian!
こう見えて炊事洗濯掃除は得意でして。
You're full of it. It's quite obvious that you fail at life.
ゲイとかもできますし。
I call bullshit.
宇佐美さん、どんなことできるの？
She blushed and looked down.
まあ、バイオリンを少々。
そういえば転入してきた時言ってたね。
I thought it was a joke.
僕も。
これがネタでも何でもないんですよ。恐ろしいことに。
Anyway, Tsubaki doesn't need you to perform for her right now.
今度聞かせてね。
It's probably only a bluff anyway. Even so, I do need to get some information on Usami. I need to find out her relation to Maou. I had wanted to delay this, but... You have so much free time, Usami. I said this in a playful tone.
暇ではないですよ、暇では。
Then what do you do at night?
銭湯に行ってます。お風呂好きなんで。髪洗うの時間かかるんすよね。
Cut it then!
それで、はるちゃんもお家に来るの？
ちょっと遅くなるかもしれないが。
Her face froze as if something nagged her in the back of her mind.
悪いけど、11時には帰ってもらえるかな。
Oh, you really had plans?
うん。
そんな時間から何をするんだ？
ネットゲーム。
Online games? Games? Why so late? Can't you play them at any time?
僕わかるよ。ネット上のお友達と時間を合わせてプレイしたいんでしょ。
そう、みんなで悪いボスをやっつけるの。
Usami and I exchanged glances. She must be thinking the same thing as me. Tsubaki's hiding something. Something that can't be discussed with us.
なんだ、椿ちゃんも結構余裕だな。
だから大丈夫だって。
I gazed down at the streets from the rooftop. Amidst the usual scenery, one can see the true winter slowly seeping in. After school, Tsubaki and I walked side by side down Central Boulevard. Did something happen yesterday? I was going to make use of our time alone. You can talk to me about it, you know that, right?
何よ？
Don't play dumb. You went for Usami's throat first thing this morning. She quickly grew uncomfortable.
そうだったっけ？
Pretending to be absent-minded like that doesn't suit you, Tsubaki. I smirked and stared at her. Don't tell me you called the police. I said it like it was nothing.
違うよ。
Really?
まだヒロアキも返してもらってないしね。
Then what is it? Tsubaki averted her gaze, trying to escape my question.
ごめん、なんでもないよ。それより浅井くん。
She changed the subject as something came to her mind.
はるちゃんのこと知ってる？
Know anything? What do you mean?
はるちゃんと犯人について。
Why would Tsubaki be interested in the relation between Usami and Maou all of a sudden? No, nothing at all. All I've heard is that she holds some big grudge against him.
そう。
What about you? Do you know anything?
知らないよ。
Does it interest you? She cast her gaze to the ground.
私、
She responded almost in a whisper.
お友達だと思ってて。でも、そのお友達のこと何にも知らなくて。
Tsubaki's face twisted in anguish.
そういうの、どうなんだろうって、今日は思ってたの。
What on earth brought on this train of thought? I think that habit of yours is just fine if you ask me. I mean, that odd little quirk is just part of who she is. Tsubaki cried out.
だって、誘拐犯と知り合いなんだよ。私の弟をさらうような人と知り合いって。
I'm not sure. Why don't you try asking her?
聞いたけど、なんだかはぐらかされて。いや、私の聞き方が悪かったのかな。
Same here. I asked about her relationship with Maou once before, but she refused to reveal it. Silence fell upon us. What, do you hate Usami all of a sudden?
気に入らないなんて、そんなこと。
She took a deep breath. You must be tired, Tsubaki. They paid the ransom and her brother has yet to return. She must be extremely worked up. But the situation won't change even if you go after Usami.
それはよくわかってるよ。はるちゃんに悪いことしたな。
I held back the urge to click my tongue and asked, Aren't you going home to spend time with your siblings?
今日はないけど。
Oh, then could you accompany me for a while?
寄ってく？
Let's go shopping. Come buy a CD with me. Tsubaki shook her head.
お父さんが心配するから早く帰りたいの。
I can see that.
ごめんね。気晴らしになればいいと思ったんでしょ。ありがとう。
I'm only coming over today to talk to your dad about the money. I'll leave immediately thereafter. That was the last bit of conversation we had along the way. Well, let's talk to Tsubaki's dad next time on G-senjou no Maou. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye.